And we're back after a little break. It's nice to be with everybody again on this Labor Day, doing what we love to do, which is talk to everyone of you. And I'm pretty stoked about our tech here. We are not tech people. We just pretend to be. We are just very passionate about what we do, and so we are willing to cope with and bear all of the issues that come with starting and running a podcast yourself. So we are thankful that everyone is sticking with us as we figure this out too. But my DJing skills have gone up a couple of notches in the last 2 weeks. But this coffee, man, I got this Olympia coffee down from Picnic, and it was this. I just try out different ones. This was the La Amistad Reserva from Costa Rica, and usually the Costa Ricans provide me a very nice cup of coffee. It's just weak. This is weak ass shit. I mean, and the strength, like the caffeine strength is fine. It just doesn't fill my mouth, and that just deep richness of the bean, which I love so much as a coffee snob. So I think I'm gonna have to pick up some more at Third Roast this week. Which, by the way, if anybody's down on South Congress, stop in at the Third Coast Roastery. You can pick up a pound of organic, wet processed, best coffee you'll ever get for $9. Just like straight $9. It's like the coolest thing ever. And it's in the back of this little kind of like you pull in this little parking lot, and it's like mechanic shops and stuff, and you're like, where the hell am I? Like this
sounds
is
like an underground drug deal.
Oh my god, it's like so sketchy. And you're like, you think you're gonna like just like you drive to like the little back of this strip mall, and you're like, what is this? Where am I going?
Sirens in the background.
And yet, oh totally. And yet I have this like this innate sense that I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And so I was there with Lauren, and we walk in, and I'm like, this is going to be amazing. She's like, I don't know about this. And I was like, no, I have a feeling, because only an amazing place would be in such a shitty place like this. She's like, what logic is that? We walk in, and it's the roastery. It's the actual roastery. It's
that's sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet.
That's really cool.
So that's my my go-to coffee is Third Roast here in Austin. But
I hear a lot of places in Austin in terms of coffee pale in comparison to places in California and New York.
That's bullshit.
I wonder why. Really? What do you think?
I
mean, you're from Jersey.
Okay, I will say there are a couple of really good small roasteries, and actually, there's this really nice revolution coming about in the same way that the health and wellness sort of paleo community, where you have a lot of these small independent businesses springing up to fill the need of high quality foods that a lot of the larger companies are just not able to produce on a large scale. Like kind of like that Vital Proteins, the company who makes the collagen that we both use. Love collagen. And I have a funny story about collagen in a second. But these small roasteries are popping up as sort of the answer to Starbucks. Starbucks started out in this vein of this very coffee shop that was meant for coffee snobs and for that sort of culture, and it's really just gotten so far away from that. And a lot of their quality of their coffee has been called into question because of the standards in the U.S. for admitting acceptable amounts of mold. So aflatoxin is a common mold that grows on coffee, along with something called the rust. And so the byproducts of this mold actually infect the bean very deeply, and it can't be killed through roasting. And we know this is a problem. I mean, you can just go on PubMed and look up like aflatoxin and cancer, or just look up molds. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture knows this is a real issue, but in Europe they have a much more stringent standard on what's acceptable of in terms of parts per million. Of how much mold in parts per million of a product are allowed to exist for it to be safe for consumption. And I mean, in Europe, it's something like, I don't remember the exact numbers or what their updated standards, but I think it's on like 10 parts per million. And in the U.S., it's like 200. Oh, it's like night and day. So what happens is that Europe gets the best quality of everything because it can't be sold here. Like it can't be sold there. So if they have a product or a coffee that has 150 parts per million of this highly toxic, very dangerous mold to consume, they can't sell it in Europe. So what is going to happen? They're going to get the good stuff because the standard is just that much higher. So where does all the shit go? Crap goes to the U.S. So a lot of that coffee gets mixed and blended together, and it gets large scale distributed, especially to large coffee buyers at the Starbucks. So small coffee roasteries have popped up as like the answer to this. You get a much higher quality cup of coffee, and really what you're looking for is a single origin. Organic is preferable, but a lot of the small estates in the Central American countries especially can't afford the organic label. So it's more a single estate Central American coffee, and it's wet processed, and you'll pretty much get a really clean, low mold, almost to zero cup of coffee that make you feel good and taste great. And so you're really looking at what's the sourcing and the origin. Some of the people who say that New York and California and San Francisco and things like this have the best coffee really look at it as sort of the environment. The atmosphere of the coffee, right? But I would say that in terms of the quality of the coffee itself, there aren't that many places in either of those places that are that much better than like a third roast. Toby Estate, which is in Brooklyn, which is where I actually did like a coffee tasting with Lauren. It was just, it was like my favorite experience like ever. Like basically, like as if you would go to wine tasting, go to like a coffee tasting and you do cupping, and they like grind the beans fresh, and you try all these different varietals, and it's just, you'll just get so high, it's ridiculous. I'm just so jacked up on coffee because you're supposed to spit it, but I mean, I'm there, so I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking lots of coffee. But Toby Estate, they're good. Blue Bottle they use a lot of blends, so they're not nearly as good as kind of other people have thought. So I mean, that's sort of what you're looking for, though.
So it's more of a sourcing thing than the actual location.
Yeah, just like anything, right? Just like any of our foods that we buy, or anything else. I mean, coffee's just another food.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, my funny story about collagen. So my girlfriend. So for all you out there, when I say Lauren's my girlfriend. So when I say Lauren went home to visit her family this weekend for Labor Day, and we're trying to figure out a way to get all of her essentials on packed and ready. So like I'm making up supplement kits, and I'm making up her daily vitamin, like her fish oil, her D, her vitamin K, to make sure that her immune system's supported as she's like flying cross country. I have like vitamin D boosters and C's, and we're like taking account of like, all right, she has her digestive enzymes and her probiotics, and we're like going down the list, and we're like, well, what about collagen? Because like we're both really big on collagen, and she like won't go without it, and I'm like, well, she's like, well, I don't know if I can take it. I'm like, no, I've got this. So I basically am able to find a container that meets the standard, but it's a powder, and I write on it, like I label it, of course, because I label everything. It's like grass-fed collagen protein powder, and I told her, I said, you know what? I think I should write a message to TSA. It says, Dear TSA, the following is grass-fed collagen and has the following benefits. Please check out my site at to learn more. I hope that you give it a try.
That's awesome.
I think I might start having to do that with my travel products.
Yeah. That's important, though. I think when people travel, it's pretty stressful on the body. So having that little pack, having your packs, your health packs are important. I think they're very important. Your immune system is really taxed the entire time you're up there, and just wherever you're going.
Absolutely. So you're going to be getting your facility. Well, I know it's done. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Officially, congratulations on you signed the deal, and
we'll still have to sign.
Oh.
The lease had to be redrafted because I made some edits, asked for a few things that I want to change, and so they're taking time to redraft it, and hopefully I will sign tomorrow. So, crossing my fingers, all goes well. I'm sure it will. But I think it's pretty much in the bag. And it's been a dream of mine since I was like 12. Always thought about it, always dreamed about it. And it's crazy to see this coming to fruition. It's wild. Because like 4 years ago, I was like, it's still there in the back of my mind, but I don't know when it's gonna happen. But I put everything I could into it, and now it's in front of my face, and it's crazy.
So, what would you say for someone who's maybe interested in starting their own, their own space to do training and help people with coaching and wellness? What do you think has been the most challenging but the biggest surprise in this whole process for you?
Really, it's just doing it.
Okay.
That's all it came down to. It's just doing the damn thing. Because all the thoughts and fears I had prior to it, am I good enough? Do I know enough? Do I know enough knowledge to provide my clients the best service? Am I able to provide high quality classes on a regular basis? All of these fears come into being, right? But they're just limiting. They're self-limiting. Because I'm putting myself on this lower standard, saying that I don't know if. And this language keeps playing over and over in my head, and so my physiology is saying, "Don't do anything. You're stagnant." So the moment I said I'm going to do it, my entire physiology, my entire body moved in the direction of where I wanted to go.
So all the zoning and the finding the right space and getting the money aside, none of that wasn't stressful because you were all in.
Yeah, and of course there's some degree of stress that's still there, absolutely, but the crux of it was just making the decision, saying I'm committing to this, just like we do with our health and our well-being, right? It's the same thing. And I've always, with my whole vision, with my space, it's just having a community of people where they can pursue the strongest and healthiest versions of themselves. Simple as that. And they can be supported in that, by everyone around them, the people that come there, the coaches that are part of the group. And it's being able to translate that feeling of being the strongest and healthiest version of yourself into every single thing you do. Your relationships, your job, your career, sports you play, performance, it's everything. And so it's awesome to see that coming to being. And really, I think it's just doing it. And I don't know all the right answers yet, but it's just like jumping off a cliff and learning to fly on the way down. That's the best way I can explain it.
I think there's this misconception that people who are really smart people or really innovative have the right answers, and I don't think that's it at all. I think that the difference is that maybe they make the mistakes and learn a little quicker from them, but when you say like you're